You want to highlight moments in your previous employment history that...
This is Molly, she is a girl. She knows nothing about the world. So come on, yeah, let's take a stroll. It's Molly the Millennial.
Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Molly the Millennial. On this week's episode, we are going to explore the wild world of interview questions, and hopefully I'll be able to give you some tips and tricks on how to answer those. Interviews are really daunting. You only have a short amount of time to be yourself, but also be professional. Stakes are really high, and you have these strangers sort of throwing all of these questions at you. I went on the World Wide Web and compiled a list of some of the popular interview questions and some of the ways that you can answer them to make yourself look like the best candidate. The first one isn't really a question as much as it is a statement, and that is, tell me a little about yourself. Now obviously they don't want to hear your whole life story, but they do want to hear about your employment history. This is a time for you to give a pitch about yourself. Give a concise and compelling summary of your employment history. It's really good if you can tie in some of the aspects of your other previous jobs into aspects of this job, sprinkling in little truth nuggets about why you would be the best fit for this job, regarding how those past experiences can now be really good for this future job. The key to most of these questions that I'm going to go over with you guys is to be specific but also concise. It's a fine line. You want to give details, but you don't need to talk forever or ramble on. It's ironic that I'm telling you this because I am like the queen of rambling. I just like ramble and I talk and I talk, and I don't really have like a specific place I'm going. I just like to talk. And then the next question they might ask you is, what do you know about our company? This answer should be a good mix of what you already know about the company, because you should do some research before you go into your interview. A good mix of understanding about the company and also their mission and why that personally affects you or why that personally speaks to you. Basically, why do you care about their mission? Why should we hire you? Answer this question showing them that you are uniquely suited for the job. Remember, they're not just interviewing you, they're probably interviewing a whole slew of other people. So you need to give them information that is unique. This is a time for you to show your professional personality. Maybe share a success story that highlights some of the aspects that they're looking for in this job. Answering the why should we hire you question, you want to be confident, but don't be cocky. Again, that's also a fine line. Moving on. These next two questions for me always make me feel really insecure. And that is, what is your greatest strength and what is your greatest weakness? For your greatest strength, again, highlight an aspect of your personality or your work ethic that is suited for the job. A bonus would be recalling a time that your greatest strength came in handy in some of your previous positions. Now, moving on to what is your greatest weakness? I hate this question because obviously it's going to be very hard for me under pressure to honestly answer what my greatest weakness is. I don't know, maybe my greatest weakness is interview skills. But don't sidestep this question. Don't lie about your greatest weakness, but also try not to pick a weakness that is a key component for the position that you are interviewing for. Well, I'm an accountant, but I'm not really good at math. Probably not the best thing to say. But also, don't interview to be an accountant if you're not good at math. Also, don't interview to be an accountant. Answer the question honestly, but also let the employer know that you're aware of your greatest weakness and that you're moving forward and taking steps to improve it. I think this next question is really important, and that is, why do you want to work for this company? You need to show them that you have a passion for the company and for the position, and that you're not just there for a paycheck. Talk about specific things that the company does that you really like or can really get on board with. And talk about the specific needs in the position that you're really excited about fulfilling. This next one is also kind of tricky, and that is, why did you leave your last position? Now, if you were fired from your last position, then you have to be honest about that. But you can tell them what you learned about that experience and how you plan to utilize that in future positions or experiences. If you left your job voluntarily, then explain why that position wasn't fulfilling you and how this new position can fulfill you in ways that that other one couldn't. Next up, describe a difficult work situation and what you did to overcome it. Have this one ready in your head. This one you should concoct before you walk into the interview because it's guaranteed that it's going to come up. Pick an example that shows you tackling a problem that could potentially happen in this position, and then explain how you overcame that. That's going to show your value for the company. And remember to be concise. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Life happens, and we know we can't predict exactly where we're gonna be in the next 5 years. But what they're looking for in this question is that you're there for the long haul. They're looking for longevity in this new position, most likely. So it's probably not a good idea to talk about potential big moving plans out of state or things like that. You can outline a realistic growth strategy for you in that company or you in that position. And again, that's going to show them that you're in it for the long haul. You're in it for that long-term relationship, baby. A lot of times, interviews will finish up with the question, do you have any other questions? Don't say no. Before you go into your interview, when you're doing all of your company research, also outline a couple other questions that are likely not to be answered in the interview. But of course, don't ask questions about paid time off, vacation time, things like that. Ask specific questions that were unanswered in your company research. For instance, I see that you associate with X organization. Can you tell me why you associate with X organization or how we associate with X organization? Something along those lines that shows that you did your homework for the interview. Now, those are obviously not all of the questions that you're going to get asked in an interview. And some questions might really throw you through a loop. When I interviewed for the position I have now, my big boss asked me, on a scale of 1 to 10, how badly do you want to work for Georgia Ensemble Theater? And that question was really hard to answer because I wanted to say 10, but I didn't want to sound like a kiss ass. I think I said something like a 9.25 or something ridiculous like that. And I don't even think I really justified why that 0.75 didn't want to work for Georgia Ensemble Theater. I really didn't want to look like a suck up. I got the job, so I guess I answered it right. Okay, so let's review. Do your homework about the company and about the position, but also outline some potential answers that you think you're probably going to give. Practice makes perfect, and rehearsal here might be a key thing, especially if you get nervous in high-pressure situations. You want to be concise, but you also want to give specific detail. You don't want to be too vague. You want to highlight moments in your previous employment history that are also going to really complement the position that you're interviewing for. And of course, be confident, but don't be cocky. I hope these were helpful. Really, if you go into an interview, just remember to be yourself, unless you're a garbage human being, and then maybe don't be yourself. Maybe be someone better than who you are currently. Okay, you guys are the best. I'll see you soon. Bye.